So we got another NU battle here. These are actually pretty fun. So I lead off with Gligar, and he leads off with Gardevoir. I'm going to go for the taunt because I don't want him to set up a support move or status or whatever. And he actually tried to taunt me, but I guess mine was better, so fuck you. Now, I stay in, I try to use Stealth Rock. I'm not really threatened by any attack he has to do. And he struggles, which means he doesn't have an attack move. And I always thought that was stupid if people have a Pokemon without at least one attack move. So I knew he was going to switch out. I used Toxic to Toxic whatever he brings in. It was a Quagsire, and that's really good because I don't think I have anything that can handle that. So I was afraid of the Ice Beam, so I switched out to Walrein. And honestly, him Toxicing on the switch didn't even occur to me until right now. I just thought about that. But he ended up going with the Stone Edge. Does a little bit more than 25%. I know I can live a couple of them. So I'm going to stay in. And I think here is when I try to protect, because here's when I thought, what if he Toxics me? And I didn't really want Walrein to get Toxic. So he switches out, he goes to Gardevoir, and I try to protect. Ends up being useless, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So I switch out, and I go back to Gligar, because I thought he was either going to T-Wave or do some type of status move, and Gligar has Lumberry on it. So he ends up taunting me, and I stay in. I use Earthquake. It almost kills it, and he puts up a light screen. Raises his team's special defense. I stay in, go for another Earthquake, and I kill it. Now, whatever he brings in, I'm either going to have to Earthquake it or switch, because I'm still taunted. And he brings in a fucking Porygon too. So here, I don't know why. I didn't think he would actually go for the Ice Beam. I thought maybe he would try to Toxic or Thunder Wave. So I thought, let me keep Gligar in, but he did go for the Ice Beam. So that was just a bad prediction on my part, but what can you do? So he kills Gligar with the Ice Beam. This thing might be a little tough to take out with the light screen up. So I bring in Haunter. I wanted to use Substitute to see if he had Thunder Wave or Toxic, because most Porygon 2s carry one or the other, but not two. So he tried to T-Wave me, so that tells me he doesn't have Toxic. So I might as well stay in and attack while I have the sub up. I go for Sludge Bomb because it gets Stab, and it'll do more than HP Ground, and Shadow Ball won't even hurt that thing. And I thought maybe I could poison it, but of course I don't poison it. So he uses Ice Beam, he breaks the sub. I have to switch now. I'm not trying to lose Haunter. And I bring Walrein in. I knew he was going to recover, but what can I do? If I kept Haunter in and I kept Sludge Bomb, he could have just kept recovering and Ice Beaming. So, I thought he was going to predict a Toxic and switch to Quagsire, which already had Toxic, to dodge the Toxic. So I kind of over-predicted and I went to Espeon, because Espeon is probably my best chance of taking out Quagsire. But he just straight up went for the T-Wave. I guess the only good thing out of that I got was Synchronized, so it put the T-Wave on him too. So I used the Calm Mind, and he ends up getting paralyzed. Light Screen wears off, so that's pretty good. And he brings in Quagsire now, and that got me kind of mad. I wish he brought him in before. I knew he was going to switch, so I used the sub. Or if he wanted to stay in and attack, I guess the sub would have scattered out what he wanted to do. So now I get to use a free attack from behind the sub, and he goes for an Earthquake to break the sub. Obviously it's going to break the sub. Espeon is not too bulky. And I use Psychic for Stab to do the most damage. And does it kill it? It almost kills it. One more will kill it. But he's really low. Toxic is starting to do a little more. And I know he's going to die in the next turn whether I hit it or not. And I know he's probably going to try to Earthquake. So I switch out to Haunter. Because of his ability Levitate, the Earthquake won't hit him. And he's going to end up just dying from Toxic. So that worked out pretty well. That's good. I really didn't have anything to handle Quagsire. I don't have any grass attacks on this team. So he brings in a fucking Pinsir, And at first I thought it was Scarfed, because why would you bring Pincer in to a Haunter? So I used Substitute just to scout out what I wanted to do, and I was actually faster. So he stayed in and he went for an Earthquake. It's gonna hit me, it's gonna be super effective, but whatever, I had a sub up. So I didn't really have a safe switch, so I just Shadow Balled. And ended up killing it. If I knew it would kill it in one hit, I wouldn't have even bothered to sub earlier. So now he brings in Entei. And I thought that Haunter was faster than Entei. I'm stupid. But he goes for a Fire Blast. He was faster, but he missed. I don't really think that matters too much. I would have just brought Walrein in. That thing wouldn't have done anything to Walrein. I get a crit. I don't know if it mattered or not. It was HP ground. Maybe it did matter. I'm not sure. But he brings in Porygon 2. And Haunter is pretty low with Life Orb taking damage and all that. I don't really care about him anymore, so I just want to get some form of damage on this Porygon 2 while I still can. And he uses Discharge to finish off the Haunter. And now the plan was to bring in Sharpedo to finish it off, because Sharpedo is pretty strong and crunched with Stab and it's neutral, blah blah blah. But I probably fucking got minimum damage. Look at that. What do you live with, like 1 HP? That's bullshit. And he used Discharge. Obviously, Sharpedo is gonna die. It's pretty frail and it's super effective. And Porygon 2's special attack isn't that bad. So I was mad. Look at that. It has literally like 5 HP. So I bring Triforce in. He's Scarfed. I know he'll be faster. Thunderbolt's gonna kill it. And now he brings in his last Pokemon, Dragonair, and you're about to witness the most unnecessary shit you ever had to watch in your life. So I bring in Walrein while he Dragon Dances. I don't know, I guess I could have stayed in and just kept T-Bolting, but I wanted to save Magneton in case I needed to have a Scarf Explosion or something. I figured at this point he was going to try to get as many Dragon Dances as he can to try to sweep my team since this is his last guy. But he ends up going for an Outrage. So it does about 200 points. I Encore him because the initial plan was to get him stuck on Dragon Dance and then switch to Magneton and just explode on him. And have Espeon or Walrein come in after and just use one more attack. If it didn't kill it, it probably would have killed it. So now I Protect to try to get him confused and try to give me some lefties. As long as he doesn't Dragon Dance again, it looks like where I'm sitting at right now, I probably could take another Outrage. So it doesn't really matter. But I also realize that he's getting lefties too, as I'm getting lefties. So he hits himself in confusion, and I use Toxic just to get some residual damage on it. I don't want him to keep gaining leftovers and all this bullshit. So he gets hurt by poison. My HP is actually getting up there. I know I'll live an Outrage. So I Protect, and he's confused. He uses Outrage. I protect myself. Get some more lefties gain. Make Toxic start to do a little bit more damage. And the Encore ended, so he can use Dragon Dance now. So I thought here he would start Dragon Dancing up for sure. Dragon Dance or Outrage. So I keep trying to Encore, and he keeps hitting himself in confusion. So the one time I get some good luck hacks, it actually pisses me off because I don't need it, and it ends up just taking long, unnecessary time. So I try to Encore again, and he hits himself again. Fucking stupid ass Dragonair. I figured if he got stuck on Outrage, Magneton could come in, resist it, and just Scarf Explode. Or if he got stuck on Dragon Dance, same thing. I could come in, Scarf Explode. But at this point, Toxic is starting to rape it. I know I'll live in Outrage, so I just go for the Surf just to kill it off. And he did go for the Outrage. It's not going to kill me, and I'm going to kill it with the Surf. Even if I didn't, Toxic probably would have killed it. Or it would have killed it. So thanks for watching, guys. This one was pretty good. Stay tuned. I have a couple more NU battles recorded already. I just have to put them out. Thanks.